Hello everyone and welcome back to Timberborn! This is episode 23 of the Road to 1000 Beavers. In the last episode, we continued to expand our beaver population. One of the main things we focused on is getting this earth recultivator up and running. We're about halfway to constructing it. We put a lot of resources into it, but there's still a bit more we need to do. And we are just now entering a bad tide. It is 4 days long, but we have set up enough of these bad water diversion systems that we can shift the bad water out of the system fairly quickly without it impacting our crops or any of our tree farms throughout the colony. As you can see, the bad water is rushing down here, so we have these pools of water which will keep some green space around the colonies. And it's been a minute since I've looked over here during a bad tide, since we already have a bunch of bad water going through here. I think that we should be able to handle this. But as you can see, it's starting to actually back up a little bit. That is why we ended up setting up all these levees. Unfortunately, that might mean a little bit of bad water gets over here. Hopefully it doesn't impact our crops too much. And one thing I want to focus on today is getting another district. We currently have 4 districts. We have our main district of Bavaria. This one is by far the largest. And we have over 200 beavers in this district. The Beaverland Hills district is number 2 with just under 150 beavers here. And then we have our 3rd and 4th colonies. The 4th one is right here. This one is the newest one. And then our Twigtop Ridge colony is over here. All in all, we have just about 550 beavers, but we need to get to 1,000. And since most of those districts actually have some unemployed beavers, since we're running out of jobs that we can have them do, we need to have some other area where we can have some productive beavers. And honestly, right along here I think would be a perfect area. And there's also a fun little challenge that I want to add to this. While we have a lot of area that we can cultivate, we don't really have water here at the moment. So what I'm thinking is that we can actually have some of the water go from here, divert it over into this area. I think that the elevation change should be manageable, and then we can get some green space going through here, push this bad water out. We might want to actually place a dome on top of this. The only downside of placing a dome right here is that this bad water feeds all the way down to our power supply. And we have a bunch of water wheels that all get power from the bad water. So if we reduce the bad water flow, that means it will get less power in this system. Although we're currently producing 10,000 HP and we only require less than half of that. Plus we have a couple more bad water sources up here. So that would be at least 2/3 of the bad water sources that would still be feeding into this. Plus if we end up adding water that goes through here, that would make it so we would offset some of the losses covered by this bad water spawner. And the first thing we need to do is disconnect all these paths from these main districts, because we need to have a district crossing and allow some of the beavers in this new district to be separated from the old districts. So we can start by placing down a district center over here. We're going to connect these paths in so that the district center is connected to some of this area. And then we also need to get a few of the district crossings set up. We'll start with one right over here since we have the zipline station very close by. And then we are definitely going to utilize the beavers from these other districts to help construct some of these things. It looks like they will be able to reach at least some of them. I'm hoping they can build the rest of these underground piles. And it looks like they are able to contribute to at least these 2. This one might be out of range, but we'll have to wait and see. And in this district crossing, we have only 4 beavers from the district of Bavaria. But we still have some unemployed beavers, so we can toss a few more in here. We also need to make some houses right off the bat. But we still need to actually transfer some beavers to this district. And it looks like we have 26 beavers who are unemployed, so we can transfer some from each of the districts over here. Fortunately, Twigtop Ridge is pretty close by, so let's migrate some of those beavers. So now we have 16 beavers in District 5 plus a few children. And since we have only a couple jobs at the moment, we have the builder's huts through the district center and then also the district crossing. We're going to make at least a couple more of these builder's huts. That way we can have the beavers help construct stuff during the beginning. Looks like we are starting to run a little bit low on gears in the district of Bavaria, but we have also been working on getting this monument up and running. We have maxed out our gears here, so now we just need to check on the production area. And we have plenty of planks, so it's not a supply issue for them. I think it was just they were working on getting all those gears shuffled into the earth recultivator. But we can also probably prioritize these by haulers, make them a little bit more efficient. We should also have some bots in here. We have 2 jobs that are vacant from the bots perspective, but it looks like that's okay since we have a lot of builders huts. We have 3 of them where we have bots as the lowest priority. Oh, and then one of the most important things, we need to have some water storage for the beavers. And just like that, the bad head has ended, so we're now starting cycle 29. We've gone through quite a few cycles. Overall, I think we're in a good spot. Our beaver population has dropped just a little bit. We're down to 540 beavers. But we're going to be adding a lot of houses in this district, so that should help get us up at least another 100 or 200 beavers over the course of the next few episodes. So we have a few houses that we worked on, but we still need to get some more down. And then I did forget that we need treated planks in order to make these spiral staircases. So I'm going to add in a small pile over here. That way we can actually get some treated plank storage in this district. And so what I'm looking to do is try and probably keep all of the housing at this elevation. And as we work our way down the mountain, we're going to have some stuff that's more underground. And then we can utilize overhangs so we can build on top of it. So we'll have a couple of these campfires that are down here and then some overhangs going across those. And then we also have some more storage over here. We also want to make sure that these beavers have access to at least provide some things for themselves. Thankfully we have some water over here that they can go ahead and pump. But we need to make sure they actually have access to get over there. So let's get some paths set up and then maybe some overhangs or platforms so we can actually get close enough to the side here. And then I'm looking at the District of Bavaria, and they actually finished the Earth Recultivator. We need to have a path that's set over here, and now it is officially connected. And then we need a lot of extract and paper. In this district we have plenty of paper. How about extract? We're not quite maxed out, we only have about half of it, but we have plenty to fill all of this up. So we're gonna actually be able to launch this probably by the end of today's episode. So I guess that is one of the benefits of overbuilding a district and having just plenty of resources all around. But then shifting back over here, since we want to have the water go across, looks like the water elevation is one tile below the surface elevation right here. And if you go over here, it is 2 tiles below, so we'll need to make a small little bridge across. We also don't want to flood this bad water rig, since that is producing the bad water for this district. We are currently maxed out. We can probably reduce this to maybe half the beavers. We can have 5 here. But we can start by making a dam across here. And then we'll want to get some double floodgates set up over here. But we don't want to actually do that quite yet. I think first what we want to do is get some of these platforms set up behind here. That way they can actually walk across. And then as they work on constructing all this, we also need to make sure we can block this section off so we don't fill it with water. And then we can also start placing down some dynamite because we are going to be going across through this little sliver right here. And so for now, we'll let the beavers work on this. We'll go take a look at some of the other districts. It looks like they built pretty much everything here really quickly. The dance hall that we're working on getting set up. First, we need to place down some dirt blocks. And then it looks like we don't have any treated planks in this district just yet. I think we have some storage set up though. We do have that here. Are we not getting any through the district crossing? That could be the case. Oh, we only have 87 in this district. It probably has something to do with the distribution limits. Yeah, we are right at the export threshold, 10%. So let's make sure we have enough treated planks in the District of Bavaria. We have enough planks, and then pine resin we're doing good on. I guess we've just been going through them pretty quickly, so we can prioritize both these by haulers. We do have this guy sitting around. I know we have a lot of punch cards, but I don't think we have... Do we not have any books in this district? I think we should at least switch one of these so that it's set to books. And then we have all these chestnut trees. Looks like a lot of them are starting to produce chestnuts. We have a couple of these gatherer flags. Oh, but we have one of these set to lowest priority. We should switch this to normal and then have this set to bots. That way we can have someone who is always picking chestnuts. And then it looks like they did finish constructing this. Let's lower that. We don't want that for exactly that reason. We want to have this set to 0.65. And of course there's going to be a little bit of flooding that's going to happen here. That is a wave of water that's coming over here. We have this at 0.25. Let's just lower that for now. That way we can reduce some of the flooding that's going to happen over here. Oh, the water physics look pretty cool. I know they said they updated them. It looks a lot more realistic now, that's for sure. And of course it looks like the water stopped flowing upstream. Even up here. It's barely coming out through here. We're on day 5. I don't know why. it's doing that exactly. The water's still going all the way around, it looks like. We are doing really good on water over here. We have pretty much filled all of this up, which is great news. And then the water is rushing through once again. Oh my gosh, is it just going to be flooding every time? This is not my favorite thing to see. So I'm seeing some increased flow coming through here. And then it's also increasing going through here. So I'll probably need to have it set up so we have at least a couple of these that are a little bit lower. That way we can start the water flowing through before it gets to this powerful current that seems to be cyclical. So I have the two outside ones for both of these lowered. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. I also lowered one up here because it kind of seems like it's stemming from this bay right here, because the water, I think, is coming through here pretty regularly. As far as I can tell, it's not overtopping over here at all. But I'm hoping this constant trickle will make it a little bit more stable and not have the seasonal flooding like we have been having. So now we have raised this whole elevation up another level, and there is still a little bit of flooding occurring over here. It's also looking a little funky coming around this corner. Might need to reduce these trees and then make a little bit of a cut into some of the dirt blocks. Maybe do the same over here as well. And then checking in on our District 4, looks like we have 13 unemployed beavers, 66 beavers in total in this district. We don't actually have any vacant beds at the moment, which means we should probably place down a few more of these houses. And then they also do have a decent well-being, 38. Overall, we're at 43, which means that they're pretty close to what the average is. We can always get another hauling post in this district, since at this point we don't really have a whole lot they need to work on over here, but getting resources shuffled around is going to be important. And then in Twigtop Ridge, let's see how they're doing. We had a bunch of these production buildings that we added in the last episode. And then where is the district center? It should be right over here. Oh, it's right in front of me. There we go. We have 11 beavers who are not doing anything. Their well-being is at 42, so that's actually not too bad. We do have some of these monuments that we added. We could probably stand to add another monument. This one has a good range, so I think we could get away with just having one. Then they should be able to reach that right here. We have plenty of planks in this district, over 1,000, so they should be able to build this pretty quickly. I see we have a bunch of wheat, and then I think we have some, let's see, they're making grilled chestnuts and grilled potatoes. But we do have bread that we're working on over here, and here as well. So we need to be able to process this. I don't think we have a grist mill in this district, but we do have a good spot that we can add one in. Seems we are running a little bit short on treated planks and metal blocks in this 5th district. We do have the beavers who are working over here, and we still have some, looks like, in the district crossing. Hopefully they can shift those over here fairly quickly. And we do have our own water pumper now, which is fantastic. Let's make sure this is the highest priority job. And then our beaver population is going up a little bit. We have 7 children and 22 adults now. I think we should add even more houses though, because I do want to have a lot more jobs in this district other than just some of the builders and these water pumpers. And then we can fit a few of these rooftop terraces over here. Thankfully they don't need to be solely on a building rooftop. They can also be on a platform or an overhang as long as they are touching the rooftop at some point. And it looks like we did fill up the earth recultivator. We have 500 extract and paper, but we're not quite at the end of the series, so maybe we should wait to launch that. Although we do get some massive well-being benefits if we launch that. Looks like we have 2 of the districts covered, so maybe we should launch this. It's daytime now, and they're sitting around. Let's think about it. Do we have enough extract to refill it? Looks like we do. And then paper. We have so much paper, so we don't need to worry about that. Let's launch this. And there we go. Now we're getting this. We've officially completed Timberborn on, I think it's been 4 maps now. So we have the flexible start unlocked. Taking a look at some of our stats, 583 days have passed. 2,300 beavers have been born. That is a stark contrast to what it was in our One Pod Challenge series. We consumed a lot more water. I don't know if we actually cut more trees or not, but we only have 760 bots manufactured in this world. I think we had something like 1,500 in the One Pod Challenge series, and so we should hopefully see some well-being rise a little bit. It's still at 47, it looks like, For this district, the average well-being is 56. If you go to the very bottom, Earth Recultivator, it looks like about half of them have access to that. And I think it's either 11 or 12 is what the maximum is. So hopefully that should translate to some well-being improvements. But now we do have these floodgates set up over here. I can raise this up to 1.3. That should be plenty tall enough. We can raise this up to 1.0 for now. And then this one, we're going to lower to 1 because it seems like it's still acting a little bit cyclical. I should probably up here maybe lower this one as well. We have this one set to 1.5, so we can lower this one down to 1.5 as well. You know, it could have something to do with the water coming into here, and then maybe it builds up some pressure and then shoots back in this direction. Doesn't look like it's really overflowing here at the moment. I'm going to keep an eye on this because I'm suspecting this might be the issue. If we place some sluices down, that might be able to solve our problem. Although there is a bit of flooding, so maybe that's not the case. But it looks like the water is flowing through here now. And so it's going all the way. It's going to get some green space over here. I should probably focus on damming this up because that would be able to have us get access to some permanent green space over here without really needing to worry about water that much. And then we'll probably want to do the same over here as well. Not having constant water is kind of a pain because as you can see the water is not flowing over here now. Here we go. We have a new well-being high score of 48. Not quite like our one pod challenge series where we got up to 76 I think it was, and that is the absolute maximum, which I'd never done that before, so that was pretty cool to do that. And we should be able to reach over here. We just need to build some paths so we can work our way across over here. If you've seen some of my previous episodes, you know I'm not the hugest fan of dams since these seem to also be a little bit cyclical, but overall we are having a pretty cyclical experience with this river, so not really much more we can do. But this will give us access to having a little bit of water stored up, and then over here we can do the same. Since this is still part of the district of Bavaria, it's pretty far away, but they should be able to do the same thing right here. We just need to once again extend the paths, then they can build a dam across here using levees and dam pieces. And now we have the dance all complete, so it looks like that's helping our beavers' well-being. We're up to 21. It's not very high compared to some of our other districts, but overall it's not a bad start. We have plenty of decorations that we can utilize. We can get a few roofs placed on some of these houses, and the way they are oriented we only need to place 2 down to get the benefit for all the beavers. So we have a few more decorations that are placed down now. I think I should also get a monument set up over here, although we need to check how we're doing on resources. We have 290 wood and 275 planks. I think that's enough to get the farmer monument, but we'll be running a little bit low on wood, which I don't really like that. So I might have them construct this, but have it set to lowest priority. And so we can place that down, super low priority, although they might... Okay, so they're working on other stuff now, which is good. And then we have plenty of wood in this district, so they are going to keep supplying wood for them. We can bump that up to 10 beavers, although we have some bots who need a job, so let's switch that. And surprisingly, I have not switched it to bots before. And then we do have some real estate right in here. I think it's worth getting some of these zipline stations set up before it's too late and I place down some other buildings over here. This one I want to have set to go over near the water pumping station. That way they can be much more efficient in collecting water. And I might not have thought this all the way through. We have this right next to the zipline station. I guess we can go around it. And then another task, which is super low on the priority list, we don't need this to be completed soon at all, is get a bunch of these dirt blocks placed down. Since what I want to do is carve out a little channel, and then we can have some water fill up this area, give us some good permanent green space. Although I messed up, we have these ones set to be finished after these ones, but we can't actually reach these at the moment, so we need to rotate these ones right here. Oh, it looks like we do have some flooding over in this area. I guess it's from the water surging through here. I was thinking about maybe getting a pump in this area, but now we definitely need to. And unfortunately, these don't reach deep enough, so that means we need to go with this one. That way it can actually reach. Although I guess we could do a little bit of rearranging if we get rid of these and then place down some double platforms. Then this should get us to the elevation that we need. But really what I should do is raise this up one more level, because as you can see we're getting really close. And there we go, we have more overtopping. So clearly one level of levees is not quite enough. Oh my gosh, and now this is just like filling up pretty much every time the water surges through. Thankfully, oh no, we have a problem. I think we're gonna have some trapped bots. Somehow they have not trapped themselves yet, but yep, there we go. What the heck? So he got shoved down here. That's a first. Thankfully we have, how much bad water? We have 5.6 thousand bad water in this district. So even though this bad water rig is not up and running at the moment, we are going to be just fine. And as the drought has begun, today's episode will come to an end. We have made some good progress. You can see we have 615 occupied beds. So we increased our beaver population by 65 beavers in today's episode. We are working our way towards 1,000, and there's much more room to expand this district. We'll definitely need to be making another one in the future, but for now we can focus on District 5. We don't have a name for this one or District 4, so please leave a comment on what you think we should name District 5, and then District 4 over here. And maybe in the next episode we focus on them a little bit more, since we have some good space that we can utilize for maybe fun activities or some productive buildings. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out some of the live streams that I've been doing on Saturdays. I try and announce the day before when we'll be streaming. I've had some great interactions with some of you guys. You have helped me in some of the a little bit more tricky situations. So if you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and hit that like button. It really does mean a lot to me. And with that, we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.